Hey guys, welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Bruce and today I want to talk about how you can enter next level light tank gameplay. If you're interested in more reviews and gameplay, go to YouTube and search for World of Tanks with Bruce to get all of my videos, or click on the subscribe button. And now let's go. I already made a couple of light tank tutorials. I even made some advanced light tank gameplay videos. Feel free to watch them if you want to improve your light tank gameplay. In today's video, I want to talk about the difference between an average and an above average light tank player. If you want to enter next level light tank gameplay, you need to apply the tips and tricks that I will show you in the next 3 battles. Let's go. Alright, here we are. In the first game, we are spawning in a tier 8 light tank. So we are low tier, however, this is not too much of a problem in a light tank. So the first thing I want to talk about is if you want to enter, let's say, next level light tank gameplay, you always want to first of all fight against the opposing light tank. And in this scenario, we have the ELC even 90 as our opponent, which is of course the much better spotting tank if you ask me. However, I think we can generally agree on that. And so my first gameplay here is I want to spot an aggressive position, because most of the time the enemy light tanks go to the bush in the about G5, G6, G6 position. And so I want to proxy spot this position, so if the ELC even 90 moves to this position, then he gets spotted and then he might be shot at by our team. So in this case, he did not do this, he did not play as aggressively as I thought he did, but nonetheless I could spot him and I could give my team the critical information, and that is where the enemy light tank goes. So this is super important, and I think this was a pretty good example, and hence I wanted to showcase this. Now the next thing you want to do in a light tank, you want to not simply want to play on a single flank, but you also want to basically play on all flanks, and you are the tank who wants to basically collect as much information as you can get about what the enemy team is doing on the map. And so I am now changing my flank, and I'm changing to the northern flank because there's no tank of my team playing on this flank. And so my task is to give my team the information on what is going on in the north, so that our team is not surprised by the adversary team. So two things which are really important right here at the beginning of the game. Okay, so as we are moving, the adversary Death Star did not manage to take a shot, and yeah, okay, that was very nice. The object 140 has been set on fire, and we get all the sweet assisting damage, so 1500 assisting damage right here. Okay, so now in the middle, I think there's not too much I can do, because I certainly do not want to brawl against the adversary heavy tanks. And in the south, actually same applies, because there's not a bush or something like that. And so what I want to do is I want to proceed via the north. Yes, I'm the only one on this flank, and yes, usually I do not want to play as being the only tank on this flank, but take a look at the team composition. Every tank has been spotted apart from the WoT 54 and also the adversary artillery. Same applies for the Scorpion G. However, I think that the Scorpion G is most likely in the enemy base, plus chances are that the WoT 54 is not spotting, or is not playing the northern spawn on his own. And that's actually how it is. He got spotted in the base, and now I want to proxy spot those tanks for my team, so that, for example, the Kampfpanzer 50T and maybe the AE phase 1 in the middle can take those tanks under fire. Now I want to not proceed further to the north in this little ditch here, because chances are that the Scorpion will go to the B1 position and from there on proceed towards the ditch and then basically fall into my rear. So that is what I need to pay attention now. And so far we made an excellent game with about 2,700 spotted. Yep, that's exactly what happened. As you can see, the Scorpion is spotted in this little ditch, and so I need to be cautiously. Now I cannot simply move out here because the enemy Death Star will simply erase me out of the game. Okay, I cannot make any damage here. And so, yeah, okay, the WoT 54 has fallen into my rear, but once again, I cannot move out of cover because then I will be taken out. He has 3 shots. That is alright. I take all this damage and now it is time for me to move out. And I want to load HE because the Scorpion G is the last tank remaining on the battlefield. And let's take another shot and bam, we can take him on. So, in my opinion, an excellent game, and key to success in this game was we gave our team the information that they needed at the beginning of the game. We instantaneously spotted the adversary light tank, and then we basically spotted the remainder of the map. And then with all this information that we collected at the beginning of the game, we could decide, or we could make a game plan and successfully basically flank the enemy team via the northern flank. That was only possible because we collected all the information at the beginning of the game. Okay, here we are in the next game. This time we are spawning in the AMX 12T in a tier 8 matchup. So once again, we are low tier. And the next thing I want to stress is light tanks are the fastest tank class in the game. So it makes sense to push an important position, which I usually call strategic position, at the beginning of the game. And in my opinion, it is the hill on the C3 position, because from there you have control over the heavy flank, because you can set up a crossfire situation alongside with your heavy tanks. However, most of the times it does not make sense to instantaneously rush a position, because that is what the enemy tanks are doing as well. Instead, you want to set up a trap, and so that is exactly what I want to do here. Now, chances are that the enemy light tanks will also push towards the hill, so I slow down here. Nice, I have already loaded my clip, and now it is time to reduce, nice, the enemy HP in this situation. Can I get a second shot? Okay, the gun elevation is not sufficient. That is alright, because now one enemy light tank, or one enemy tank, the Super Hellcat, has been taken out of the game, and the Cromwell has lost most of his HP, and so later on we can, while being full HP, proceed on top of the hill, take him out, and then maintain control over this strategic position. So that is what I want to stress, and I told this a couple of times in my light tank tutorials as well as in the map tutorials. As you can see now, the Iron Army is proceeding on top of the hill. I am spotted, but that is not too much of a problem. I might take a shot, and obviously I want to proceed on the right hand side here, so not to receive a shot from the Type 59G. And now I can simply move out and take a shot. Okay, he's already taken out. Excellent. And so here you go. So we have won the strategic position from which we can make pressure towards the enemy the enemy heavy tanks, and we haven't lost a single HP, which is excellent, which gives us the chance of certainly maintaining this strong position. Now, I'm working a little bit with my gun elevation right here. That is the drawback of most autoloader tanks, because they have an oscillating turret, at least most of them, at least when it comes to the French light tanks. And so I should have aimed better, because as you can see, if I had made the first shot as well, then I could have taken out the Tiger 1, but he's now finished off by our teammates. Okay, nice. So a very decent setup here, 5-1, and that is simply because we played smart. We played smartly at the beginning of the game, and finally we won the strategic position. Okay, I can take a shot into his rear. Excellent. Bam. And if you fully aim in, then you can even hit with the light tank. Nice. And so 1100 damage. Already a pretty decent game in a tier 6 light tank. However, there is certainly more to come. Now, let's see how it goes. Let's see. Our team is winning the heavy flank. Well, that was not out of the blue, simply because we helped our team to do so with setting up a crossfire on this hill here. And now it is time to relocate, because if you take a look at the minimap, you see that the enemy forces are proceeding on the eastern side of the map, and now it is time for me to support our team. And so I want to move here, down here. So can we get a shot onto the IS-3? Maybe if he moves out of cover. I have loaded premium ammunition, and with this 202mm of penetration that this tank offers, it is one reason why this tank is so strong on tier 6. We can certainly make damage, especially if the IS-3 turns his hull so that we can easily get a 90-degree angle and penetrate his hull. So see how it goes. He is pushing forward. Nice. There's the Panther, a very easy target. Here you go. And hopefully he's spotted. So as you can see, the game is not won yet. It is relatively close. Ah, okay, that was unfortunate. Nice, he's taken out. And so now the question is, what can we do? And in my opinion, you should try to spot for your team, and this is why I want to proceed to this to the base position basically and spot for my team. Now chances are that the M2Y is taken out very soon. He's indicated to be full HP, but that must not be the case. That was actually not, he is actually full HP, but it doesn't need to be the case. That's what I wanted to say. So okay, let's nice. Okay, here you go. Here's the Panther. Nice. Bam. And 2 shots onto the Panther. Nice. And so I think we are now holding up the adversary push. Looks like our team has managed to successfully push into the enemy base, which is nice. And so right now I think it is phase 3 of the game. If you do not know what I'm talking about, then watch my video about the 3 phases of each game. And so I think we can be more aggressively and move to a position in the middle of the map, because that is where I want to go. You want to set yourself up so that you have the most the highest chance to spot the adversary tanks. Go, can I take them out? Nice. And so I want to proceed to the middle because the game is won, and I certainly can play aggressively because I haven't lost a single HP so far, and so it's time to simply rush in and to cash in my HP. Here we go. We can even spot him. Nice. And I think now we will be spotted. Yep. So you know what? Yep, he's now aiming towards us. So let's fall back. And as soon as he is, yep, he's now moving again. He's hit by the artillery. And so you know what? Let's spam, take him out. Here you go. And one last shot onto the enemy light tank. So yeah, 2400 damage in a tier 6 light tank. Excellent game. 3k combined. And once again, with the light tank, if you want to enter next level light tank gameplay, then you can and you should try to help your team to win the strategic position, because after all, you are light tank and you are the fastest tank in the game. But you should do that with a game plan and with smart gameplay. Okay, third and last game. Once again in the AMX-12T, once again as being in a low tier scenario. We are spawning on Malinovka in an encounter battle, and in this game I want to show you that you need to have minimap awareness, because you as a light tank player always want to be where you can spot for your team, and so you have to recognize where basically the front line is situated, or where the front line between your team and the adversary team is located, and then you have to relocate in order to go to a bush from where you can spot the adversary tanks. And so on this map, in an encounter battle, I want to start right here, because chances are that enemy tanks exactly will go to this position, and once they cross, I can basically spot them. I do not want to take a shot, because then I will also get spotted, and right now, as of now, I do not want to reveal my position. So let's simply wait here and see what is going on. In my opinion, if you play on this map in an encounter battle, then there are basically two lines of approach. One is the one where, or the place where I am going, and the other one is on top of the hill, and that is the brawling area. So you usually do not want to go there with a light tank, because you would have to conduct second line gameplay, and that is extremely difficult to do if there are a couple of adversary tanks, as you can see, which is the case. Okay, looks like that I'm constantly spotting adversary tanks. However, so far no assisting damage. And now if you take a look at the map, you can see that looks like the enemy team is advancing on top of the hill. Now notice that I am moving to the what is it called, to the front portion of the bush, simply because I want to not get spotted by the tanks which are on the hill. Okay, I took a shot, I got spotted, fine, but now it is time to relocate, and I want you to take a look at the minimap. Looks like the TS-54 is the last top tier tank on top of the hill, and he has lost 50% of its HP, and so he will sooner or later get taken out. So I want to relocate, because if you know Malinovka, then you know that you can pretty much easily defend the A lane from this side, because the forest is super strong defensive position. But I want to position myself at the first line of my team, so that I will be the tank spotting all the adversary tanks which are pushing as soon as the TS-54 and also the Churchill 7 are taken out. In my opinion, the Churchill 7 is now basically obviously susceptible to all the adversary guns, and so he will certainly be taken out of the game. Now I need to fall back here so to let him pass, and he is also taken under fire. He will soon be taken out, but that is not a problem. And so I'm now in this tree here. Now I've knocked down the tree early enough so that the enemy forces were unaware, and so I will most likely not get blind fired, and so I will simply maintain here. Now the other good thing, here go, this is what I want to see. The other good thing is, as soon as tanks will cross, here go, to the, what is it, D6 position, as the ISU is doing, then I will spot those tanks, and I will also get the sweet assisting damage. So the key to success in this game, and that applies for basically most of the games, is to have minimap awareness, especially in a light tank, because you want to foresee what is going on, and you want to position yourself so that you get all the spotting damage, and so that you can basically spot the adversary tanks for your team. That is, of course, the number one task of a light tank player. Oh, by the way, take a look at the minimap. The AT-15A is making pressure, and so certainly I want to fall back. I'm always trying to maintain the tree between me and the AT-15 so that I do not get spotted. Plus, even when he was taken out, I proceeded towards my base for a couple of seconds, because I always want to make sure that I am not spotted. And keep in mind that it takes 3 seconds until sixth sense is coming on. So okay, so now all the tanks are have been taken out. The tanks, talking about the adversary tanks, which have pushed via the hill. And so now it is time to once again relocate, because just keep in mind what I said. I want to be at the first line of my team, and I want to spot for my team. Here goes, so I can... Okay, I'm spotted here. Okay, that was kind of... Okay, I think the IS-2S spotted me. That is all right. Here you go. 4,800 spotting damage, simply because we positioned ourselves at the first line of our team, and so we collected all the sweet spotting damage. And I think without our spotting, this game would have been lost right now. Okay, once again, I do not want to take... Okay, I want to take a shot, but yeah, that was not a good idea, because after all, the gun of this tank is not the best one, not the most precise one, which is alright, because otherwise this tank would certainly be overpowered. So let's wait 10 seconds until we are not spotted anymore. And okay, okay, KV2. We could have taken a shot onto the IS-2, but the problem is the KV2 was in our way. Okay, which is alright. Now we want to spot this tank. The game so far is still relatively close, so we simply want to continue to spot those two remaining tanks. Alright, yep. Slowly but surely we are collecting spotting damage. Nice, okay, perfect. So this tank is taken out, which is good, and now it is 12-7. So there are only 2 tanks, the Poodle, and okay, he's now also taken out, and so there are only 2 tanks remaining. Most likely those tanks are still at the enemy base, because they have not been spotted anymore. Maybe they are AFK, at least the heavy tank, and so I can simply push forward aggressively. After all, I've only lost a bit of my HP, and so it is simply time to get more damage, and so I can simply move forward. Okay, perfect. So let's see where the E150 is. And okay, there he is. Okay, that is very unusual. Okay, so let's see. You know what, I will simply proceed towards him. Yes, he can take a shot, but that is not a problem at all, and I want to pretend that I'm going right. Instead I am going left, and so I can take okay, I want to reload my gun, and I get all this sweet assisting damage. So we're now beyond 5.5k assisting damage. Excellent. And now he's turned his turret, but okay, okay, I made a terrible mistake here. I get one more shot, now I'm taken out. Okay, that was a terrible mistake actually, because I had auto aim still on, which was a terrible mistake, because I could have taken out this tank. But yeah, you know what, it's not too much of a problem. An excellent game, 6k combined, 400 damage and more than 5,500 spotting damage. And I think this game really showed how you should position yourself in a light tank, because you always want to be where the fight takes place. You want to be at the first line, and you want to spot the adversary tanks, and so always have an eye on the minimap. And I think with those tips and tricks, if you apply those tips and tricks in every game, then you will improve your win rate and improve your results as being a light tank. Alright guys, that was it for today with a little video about next level light tank gameplay. What do you think about light tanks? Are you into light tank gameplay? Do you agree that light tanks are the strongest tank class at the end of the game? Just leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Consider subscribing to my channel, and I see you next time in another World of Tanks video.